What's up, guys? I saw Avengers Endgame the other day, and it was amazing. It's very different from what you expect from the trailers, and the third act is really cool. Anyway, this video is about whether or not the Lego Avengers Endgame sets are accurate to the movie. There will be spoilers in this video, so if you have not seen it yet, don't watch this. Let's get into it. The first set is 30452 Iron Man and Dummy. This will be the one time I take a look at the quantum suit in this video, even though there's a ton of them. Anyway, the suit itself is really accurate with great detailing and everything in the right spot, even though I only have a picture of the torso from the movie. I can compare the legs using the concept art though, and they're fairly accurate but not perfect. Iron Man's helmet is really accurate as well. He's even got the blue eyes. Overall, this figure is pretty accurate. Tony doesn't use an Iron Man helmet and the quantum suit at the same time, but I can see why they made it like this. Dummy isn't accurate though. He looks fine compared to what we've seen of him in the Iron Man movies, but he's not in Endgame at all. Overall, this set had an accurate minifigure, but the build was not even in the movie, so it gets a 2-star rating on accuracy. The second set is 76123 Captain America Outriders Attack. Captain America is fairly accurate, with the really accurate quantum suit and a more accurate helmet than we've previously seen on him. While Cap doesn't actually take his helmet back in time with him, I'm glad we got this new helmet and head for him. The Outriders aren't very accurate though. Neither of them have the correct amount of arms, and the unprinted legs don't help. I have no idea what Lego was going for with the shoulder pauldron, but at least the torso and face printing is good. By far the most inaccurate part of the set is Cap's motorcycle. There's literally nothing like this in the movie, which is what we expected, but I thought he would have at least ridden a motorcycle in one part or something. Anyway, overall this set is even more inaccurate than the last one, and gets a 1-star rating on accuracy. The next set is 76124 War Machine Buster. War Machine is really accurate. Of course, his quantum suit is great and his helmet looks good too. Unlike Cap and Iron Man, he does wear his suit with the quantum suit, so that's accurate as well. Ant-Man is great with an accurate quantum suit and a helmet that looks more accurate than the old version. I still like that mold better though. The Outriders are no more accurate than the last sets, once again using the 2-armed version with the shoulder pauldron. Instead of a new version for the second one, LEGO reused the Infinity War version. It's probably less accurate though. The build in this set is the War Machine Buster, and it looks like a War Machine version of the Hulkbuster. In the movie though, it's not even close this big. It's really not that much bigger than the normal War Machine suit, as you can tell from this picture. It doesn't even really look that much like it. Overall, the set is hardly more accurate than the two before. The figures were decent, at least the build actually appeared in the movie. It gets a 2-star rating on accuracy. The fourth set is 76125 Iron Man Hall of Armor. Iron Man Mark 50 is really accurate with great printing that compares really well to the actual suit. Tony Stark doesn't use the suit in the movie though. He gives it to Cap early on and we never see it again, since he uses Mark 85 for the majority of the film. I think it's a fine inclusion anyway. Iron Man Mark 1 is really accurate as well, with equally good printing and a decent helmet mold. However, it isn't in the movie at all, which is a recurring theme in this line of sets. Marks 5 and 41 have the same problem. They're incredibly accurate, but not in the movie. The last two figures in this set are identical Outriders, who are both the Infinity War version and still not accurate. Dummy is once again accurate, but still not in the movie, and Igor has the same thing going on, though he's definitely less accurate than he could have been. The Hall of Armor itself looks pretty good. There's not really a walkway above the suits, but it looks great anyway. Unfortunately, this wasn't in the movie either. Overall, this set is not accurate. It's basically an Iron Man 3 set, with the only Endgame things in it being the Mark 50 and Outriders. It gets a 1-star rating on accuracy. I really like this set, but it's just not accurate to the movie. The fifth set is 76126 Avengers Ultimate Quin Jet. Thor is not really that accurate. His quantum suit looks great, of course, but when he wore it in the movie, he was fat and had a huge beard and long hair. The head and hair they gave him is accurate to early on in the film, but not when he actually uses the suit. Hawkeye is really accurate, though, with the quantum suit, and his head and hair look great, too. Also, he finally has a quiver, which he's been needing for a while. Black Widow is also really good, with yet another quantum suit and a decent head and hair. Her face is great, but her hair color could definitely be better. Rocket isn't that accurate though. His quantum suit has short legs, which takes away some of the printing, and he's the wrong color. He really should be brown, but LEGO keeps making him gray. The last two figures are identical Chitauri, who aren't insanely accurate, but definitely get the job done. I especially like their face printing, even if they could use a helmet. Their guns are also pretty good. The first build in the set is the tricycle thing, and it's not in the movie at all, but the main build of the set is the Quin Jet, which we see several times throughout the movie, and it's accurate at least. I don't have a good picture of it, but it was definitely sufficiently accurate. Overall, this set is accurate, and easily the best so far. The figures were pretty good, and even though one of the builds was literal trash, the other was one of my favorite LEGO ships of all time. So this set gets a 3-star rating on accuracy. The final set is 76131 Avengers Compound Battle. Iron Man Mark 85 is really accurate, with great torso and leg printing, as well as nice blue-colored eyes. Of course, his face underneath is accurate too. The only thing I would change would be to give him dual-molded arms, to get that dark red color on the lower half of them. Captain Marvel isn't as accurate though. Her torso is fine and even her unprinted legs aren't that bad, but her hair is completely wrong. At the beginning of the movie it's down around her shoulders and by the end it's cut short and styled up. Neither of these match well with the mold LEGO chose. I really wish she wasn't a complete reuse since there are several things that could have been done to improve her. Nebula is fine though, with an accurate quantum suit like so many others in this wave, and a head that's really good as well. There's another Outrider in this set, but I no longer care about these guys. Hulk is pretty good. Short of potential spoilers, they really couldn't have done much better, and I'm not surprised LEGO didn't make a quantum suit version, since they don't print their big figs very well. Thanos is actually better than I thought he was going to be. He's still not that good though. His helmet looks wrong, his face is off, and his armor seems incomplete. His weapon is even wrong. Overall, he's at least better than last year's version. The nano figure Ant-Man is fine. Even though Ant-Man doesn't shrink while wearing the quantum suit, I think this is a fine inclusion. Let's move on to the builds. Firstly, there's these Avengers vehicles, a car and a helicopter, that don't show up in the movie at all. Then there's the main build, the Avengers Compound itself. From the outside, it doesn't really look like it, but I don't think that's much of a problem. Unfortunately, it's not that great on the inside either. You've got this garage that I couldn't care less about and a tool rack that's just as irrelevant. On the right wing, there's a screen displaying the Infinity Gauntlet and a containment room to store it in. Still not sure why there's only 2 Infinity Stones. Anyway, neither the screen or the containment room are actually in the film, but they make far much more sense than some of the other stuff. On the floor above, you've got a table and chairs, which is probably supposed to represent that one room in the Avengers Compound, and it's not very accurate. This whole build is very underwhelming. Overall, this set is not that accurate. The figures were decent at best, and the builds were disappointing. It gets a 2-star rating on accuracy. Now it's time for the big question. Are the Avengers Endgame sets accurate? I'm sure you can tell at this point. No, they're not. The figures were mostly quantum suits and Outriders, and the majority of the builds weren't even in the film. So here's my current star rating scale. 5 for a wave of sets that are almost perfect. 4 for sets that are really good, but there's a couple of obvious errors. 3 for average, hardly more accurate than inaccurate. 2 for a bad line of sets, and 1 for a wave that does an absolutely terrible job of representing the movie it was made for. Clearly the Endgame sets fit that last one's description. I give them a 1-star rating on accuracy. Now I'm not blaming this on Lego since they didn't get to see the whole movie and probably didn't see any of the final battle. I really wish we could get a second line of sets later in the year, but I highly doubt that will happen. They have released an extra set later before though, the Tanker Truck Takedown set from Civil War. Anyway, overall these sets are incredibly disappointing for a movie that was so awesome and the completion of a build-up of over 20 movies. There are so many figures like Ronan and Pepper Potts' rescue armor that could have been made but weren't, and hopefully we'll get a Bricktober pack or something later in the year, but we definitely don't know for sure. Either way, these sets are bad. And that's it. Like this video if you want to see more like it in the future, and feel free to subscribe. Also make sure you have your notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Thanks guys.